It's 2 o'clock in the morning. You're lying in bed, the cold blue light from your smartphone screen reflecting off your retinas. You've been in this position for 3 hours. You started your night with a simple intention. You just wanted to check one notification, but then the algorithm took over. You watched a recipe for pasta you'll never cook. You watched a cat fall off a shelf. You watched a trailer for a movie you've already seen. And now you're watching a nonsensical, bass-boosted loop of a Stickman head inside a toilet screaming about a war that doesn't actually exist. You aren't laughing, you aren't learning, you aren't even curious anymore. Your thumb is moving on its own. Swipe, swipe, swipe. This is the threshold of what the internet has dubbed brain rot. But this isn't just a funny slang term used by teenagers to describe bad content. It is a terrifying, real-time window into the physical transformation and decay of the human attention span. Today, we're going to look inside your skull. We're going to see exactly what happens to your neurons when they are bombarded by these high-intensity, 5-second bursts of dopamine for hours on end. Meet Stan. Stan is a simple black stickman. He lives in a world of clean lines and simple rules. Evolutionarily speaking, Stan's brain is a masterpiece. It was designed over millions of years to help him survive in a world of scarcity. In Stan's natural environment, dopamine, the chemical that drives motivation and reward, is hard to come by. If Stan wants the high of a reward, he has to work for it. He has to hunt, he has to gather, or he has to solve a problem. His brain releases a small, controlled dose of dopamine as a reward for his effort. This keeps Stan motivated. This keeps Stan alive. But we have taken Stan out of his natural world and dropped him into a digital landscape of infinite, effortless abundance. On your phone, every single swipe is a pull on a high-speed slot machine. This is what psychologists call variable ratio reinforcement. It's the exact same mechanism that keeps people sitting at slot machines in Las Vegas for 14 hours straight. You don't know if the next video will be a win or a loss, so you keep pulling the lever. You keep swiping. But here is where it gets dangerous. When dopamine floods Stan's system at this unnatural frequency, it's called supraphysiological stimulation. It is simply too much for a biological brain to handle. Imagine Stan is in a room, and suddenly the speakers start blasting music at a deafening volume. Stan's natural reaction is to cover his ears. Your brain does the same thing. To protect itself from the dopamine flood, it begins a process called downregulation. It literally removes its own dopamine receptors. It closes the windows to the soul. Now, because Stan has fewer receptors, he needs even more stimulation just to feel normal. The pasta recipe doesn't work anymore. The cat video is boring. Stan now needs the loud, the chaotic, the nonsensical. He needs the brain rot. This is the hedonic treadmill. Stan is running faster and faster, consuming more and more intense content just to stay at a baseline level of satisfaction. And normal life, a walk in the park, a conversation with a friend, reading a book, those things produce such a small, natural amount of dopamine that Stan's downregulated brain literally cannot feel them. To Stan, reality now feels like physical boredom. It feels like a slow motion torture because his brain has been rewired to only respond to the digital circus. But the rot goes deeper than just dopamine. Let's look at the prefrontal cortex, or the PFC. This is the CEO of Stan's brain. It's the part responsible for planning, logic, and most importantly, impulse control. Usually, the CEO is in charge. He's the one who says, "Hey Stan, it's late, put the phone down and go to sleep." But the CEO is like a muscle. He needs to be exercised. When Stan is in a brain rot loop, he isn't using his CEO. He's letting the impulse monkey in his limbic system drive the car. The monkey loves the flashing lights. The monkey loves the loud noises. And the more the monkey drives, the weaker the CEO becomes. Chronic overstimulation has been linked to cortical thinning. Stan's CEO is literally shrinking. He's being evicted from his office. This is why you feel that physical itch to check your phone even when you know you shouldn't. That's the monkey screaming for another hit, and your CEO is too weak to stop him. We are seeing a global rise in symptoms that mimic ADHD, not because of genetics, but because we are collectively shrinking our prefrontal cortex through the constant consumption of hyper-compressed media. Now, let's talk about Stan's working memory. Think of this as the brain's temporary whiteboard. It's where you store information before it gets filed away into long-term memory. Deep learning requires focus. It requires you to hold an idea on that whiteboard for a significant amount of time so the brain can process it. But Brainrot content writes a word on the whiteboard and then immediately throws a bucket of paint over it 5 seconds later. Then it erases it. Then it writes something else. Because the content is moving so fast, Stan's brain never gets the signal to hit the save button. This is why you can scroll for 3 hours and not remember a single thing you saw. You aren't gaining knowledge, you are just consuming junk data. This constant memory dumping is making our brains shallow. We are becoming a species that knows how to skim everything but understands nothing. Our Stickman friend Stan is becoming a genius at swiping, but he's losing the ability to think a single deep thought. Is everything lost? Is Stan's brain going to be a puddle of gray mush forever? No. The most amazing thing about the human brain is neuroplasticity. It is the brain's ability to rewire itself based on its environment. If your brain can rewire itself for the rot, it can rewire itself for the deep. But it's not an easy fix. It requires what Stan calls a dopamine detox. You have to shut off the slot machine. You have to starve the impulse monkey. For the first 48 hours, Stan will be miserable. He will feel restless, irritable, and incredibly bored. This is the brain's way of upregulating. It's slowly opening those dopamine windows back up. By day 7, the natural world starts to look different. The colors seem brighter. Stan can sit in a chair for 10 minutes without reaching for a screen. By day 21, the CEO is back in his office. He's strong again. He's making decisions. Stan can pick up a book and actually read the pages. He can hold a conversation without his mind wandering to the next notification. Recovering from brain rot is about reclaiming your most valuable asset, your attention. Your attention is the currency of your life. Every second you spend on the rot is a second you are giving away to an algorithm that doesn't care about Stan's potential. It only cares about his watch time. If you want to take back your mind, you have to be intentional. You have to embrace boredom. Boredom is the space where your CEO does his best work. It's where creativity happens. It's where Stan finds his purpose. If this deep dive helped you understand the battle inside your own skull, hit the like button. Share this with a friend whose brain might be rotting. And most importantly, subscribe to join our community of masterminds. We're going to rebuild Stan's focus, one step at a time. Now, put the phone down, go outside, stand in the sun. Stan is waiting for you.